Hi guys, I'm going to take you through a morning assessment of walking through the store and then also an afternoon assessment. And that's just because I was in Williamsburg this morning and I'm in Virginia Beach this afternoon. And I want you to see what I see when I walk through the store. All right, as I did the morning walkthrough, I wrote everything down because otherwise I would not remember to circle back around and do those items. So I had an entire page full of micro notes, and that's the only way that I can function and actually take care of the customer perspective. First, obviously, on my checklist, I'm gonna fill that with drinks. I'm gonna make sure that these are full. I'm gonna stock MIS and make a list of anything I can't stock. I'm gonna pull out fudge and fill out my fudge inventory for Slack. I'm noticing over here that these cabinets are dirty, so I'm gonna add that to a cleaning list, as well as this. This is just random. Chad's already put some stuff out on the tables, but you always want these tables full so the kitchen looks busy even before production starts for the day. I'm gonna check my front displays. So this one right here, I'm just gonna look around and say, okay, obviously I need more of these. I'm gonna see if we have back stock, otherwise I'll add it to a list. I'm probably gonna tidy up. Some of these could look a little fuller. Maybe just rearrange a little bit. If you don't have back stock, you can always add more fluff underneath just to make it look full, but you definitely are gonna put whatever the customer is seeing first. You're gonna want to spruce that up. This is my second display right here, which I already worked on a little bit. I'm gonna add to my list to find more caramel corn back stock because this gondola needs a lot of help over here. It's not fully stocked. And then I think this could look a little bit better. It's pretty good. I already added these camel chews just to prop this up, but you just wanna innovate to try to make things look nice. I'm gonna check the fronts of my registers. This looks a little bit chaotic. So I'm probably gonna do something about that. These are really special. This needs to be filled up. I already said stocking this. Over here, this is chaos. Everything over here should be in straight lines, which I can demo later, but we want straight, clean lines, not spread out like that. That's not communicating what we want to communicate. So I'm going to straighten all of these out. So I'll add that to my list, and then I'll just assess whether or not we need to make more of those in order to keep this full. Definitely going to add more caramel squares to my list. These actually look full, which is awesome, but if they didn't, a lot of times people leave trash in these, then I would want to work on that. I'm just going to kind of scan for any glass. I think this fly is just, oh, it's dead. Okay, cool. So there's a dead fly there, so I'm going to add that to my list. Checking for any spills or anything left over from the night before. Right here, this looks pretty good. This does not. So I'm gonna add to my list or just kind of spruce that up and try to make that look full. And as I do that, I'm gonna pay attention to the ordinal dates to make sure that I'm not putting the newest stuff in the front. I'm gonna take the oldest stuff and pull it forward. I'm missing a tooth there. Here, this does not look great. So I would just make a note to check and see if we're getting more of these on our next delivery. I'm gonna go through, make a list to see what quarts we need, right? So I'm gonna pull whatever's in here forward so that it looks full even if it's not full, right? So this would go on top of that, and these two would come forward. And then I'd add to my list to check and see if we have more cakes. And then I take inventory of quarts and anything that we have a label for but have less than 6 of displayed, then I'm going to make those. So obviously we need to work on the cakes a little bit, at least pulling the ones that are here forward to start with. All right, so I'm definitely gonna wanna pull more out of these, or I'm gonna change the container so it looks full, or I'm just gonna remove this, right? Because a half full container does not communicate what we wanna communicate. Over here, I'd probably just tuck these down and see if we have more gummies somewhere, right? So just little things like that. And this is an interesting area. I'm definitely gonna want these to be in nice clean lines as well. So I'll come back and fix that. That looks good. Obviously some trash is right there. So now you're getting a sense for how You can look at the floor. Over here, again, these should be in nice clean rows, not spread out like that. This looks good over here, except for these. So I might consolidate these two trays. I'll check the cabinets for more, but I'll add that to my list to follow up on. And then I just want to say, before going into the Virginia Beach store, it looked amazing. And the reason for that is that we haven't had any customers today, and the employees knew exactly what to do. So they spent their entire morning cleaning and stocking. And I would be just as happy if I came in and the store was a mess, because we'd had lots of customers. So perfection is wonderful, but usually perfection means there's a lack of activity. And so we're always looking to get as close as we can to perfection, but also we want that activity because that's where we all get paid. So the first thing I'm seeing here is that these front displays look awesome. That I need to fix that. I don't see any trash on the ground. There was some spills on the floor in Williamsburg this morning. I'm seeing this needs to be quickly swept. As I look over here, there's a couple crumbs here that need to be dealt with. The kitchen is active. It's not fully displayed, but there's enough going on that I'm happy with. I can see right here in this area that this needs to be tended to. There's spills from customers. There's a little bit of trash that needs to be picked up. This is the overall view of the store. This is full. I'm really happy with this display right here. And this is also full. I know they were just restocking it. Here we have our Nutcracker Suite area, and this looks really tight. Also right here, this is how I like things to be stacked in neat rows. Like, we don't want things kind of spread out like you saw from Williamsburg this morning, and that's just because somebody cleaned the gondolas and they didn't know how to put it back. But this is how it should be merchandised, just really clean lines, so it's very easy for the customer to see what is available. This looks great. If I look over here, the apple case is full, which is awesome. And here's our fudge. So I never want to know what fudges we're out of based on what I'm looking at in the case. So I'm assuming we're either low on this or we need to restock it. But some of that, it looks really clean and maintained. So when I'm looking at that, I'm like, we're probably really low in toasted coconut because of how clean it is. They're probably keeping it really well stocked. I'm looking at my Hilliard's cases. These look really nicely stocked. We obviously have some missing areas where we could put something, like double up a tray and put that in there. So what I'm scanning for is trash and whether or not something is fully out. And this all looks really good. There's no missing window boxes. They obviously just stocked our window boxes this morning. These are very concise marketing areas, right? So I can tell this is the chocolates area, right? This is the Barks area. This is the caramel corn area. And every single shelf should tell a distinct story about what's being sold. It makes it really easy for the customer to navigate the store. Okay, so this is another example of really clean lines, right? We don't have things kind of scattered out. It's just stacked very neatly. Same over here. This is a very clear story that's being told about what's available. And also right here, that's a pretty clear story. So let's look at the cake freezer. So this is an area where I would want to check the deep freezer and see if we have more cakes. So we need like a small one of the 5 chocolate. We need small ones on top of these ones. It looks like these could be tidied and pulled forward. And it looks like we could make quarts potentially. But we might have the right amount. We're supposed to have 6 minimum of each type of label we carry. And it looks like it just needs to be tidied up a little bit. Other things I'm looking for, is there any ice creams that need to be restocked? And I don't see that. Everything looks pretty good in the ice cream section. So another thing I'm always checking for is in front of the registers. Is it dirty? Is this fully stocked? And sometimes you just need to pull things forward. And sometimes you need to go find more or make more. Let's check this register. This area looks pretty good too. So I'm looking for ice cream spills, trash, things like that.